Welcome to the next lesson of land appraisal in Israel. This lesson, I promise, will be a little bit more pleasing to the eye, and a little more exciting than the last one, which I spoke more than showed. Before I though begin with that, let me just preface and say that talking about real estate or land in Israel, Israel is a relatively young country; it's about 70 years old, and not everything in the system is perfect. There's definitely room to improve. But recently, of late, in late years, there's been a tremendous advancement from a technological standpoint, from a resource standpoint, in terms of what any common person can call up at his fingertips. The wealth of information that is accessible to the average Joe to get from various governmental websites or municipal websites is staggering. And so you'll be surprised after you learn these various websites about really how much you can just find out on your own and all that's there available to you. So with that having been said, let me start with the first website, which is one of my favorites, and that is the website of Govmap, or govmap.gov.il, and that's the website you see here. Maybe actually just to give you an idea of how you even get to it, it's fairly simple, but just to show, you would go and even just search for Govmap, and this will most likely be your first option that comes up, and you click on it, and you come to this website of Govmap. Govmap is run by a particular department of the government of Israel called MAPI, Merkaz Mipui Israel, I believe it's called, and essentially they're in charge of the maps and the surveying, and they created this website, which is amazing. And they're just wonderful people, I have to say. In my personal experience of dealing with them, technical difficulties with questions, they were readily available. Surprisingly so that I've ever encountered in any other kind of government interface. That having been said, so you come here and you start here, and you have the general map, and the first thing you're going to want to do is to find a particular zone in a particular piece of land. So you come up to the right, upper right-hand surface area here, and they give you the option of choosing either by address or by gush chelka, or there's a few other ways. There's various other ways, which I'm not really familiar with. Most of the time, though, you're going to be doing a search by gush v'chalka or by way of address. I personally prefer gush chelka. It's more precise. So let's just take a particular search. Oops. And let's choose something I've chosen earlier. Gush 30152. And immediately you're taken to this outline of Gush 30152, and it's telling you that these are the exact coordinates and dimensions of the Gush. The next important feature to take note of is this area here called the Shchavot. The Shchavot means layers. And this is where the real power of this website comes in, is that this website is composed of hundreds of layers, each of them being a different layer of information, of knowledge of different things. You could have a layer of where all the different hospitals are. You could have a layer of all the different water lines are. And for our purposes, as a land appraiser, I essentially use the layers that relate to tochniot and plans, and things of that nature. So I'll just really be focusing on those aspects, and I won't be getting into all the different layers that are brought here. As soon as you open up the layers window, you have a little sampling of layers, but really there's hundreds more down here. When you click on Shchavot Midah Nosafot, you're given a breakdown on the right side here of different categories. And you can also do a search here for a particular thing you're looking for. Generally speaking, I go straight down to where it says Kadastar Mekarkain V'Tichnun, which is essentially all about surveying a cadaster and land, and I click on it, and it gives me particular ones that are relevant to me, which maybe sometime in the future would go into more detail, but this is generally what I find pertinent for my purposes. But just a bare basic sample I'd like to give right now would be, as we said, we came to this gush here, and we had the gush, but very rarely does any one person own an entire gush. Most of the time, you're going to be owning a gush chalka. So you would go to shchavot here, and if I come down here and I click on chalkot, I will now be given the exact outline of all the different chalkot in this gush. You have 40, 41, 42, 43. Not necessarily do they ever go in number order, so don't assume that. But say, for example, now that I've selected the chalkot layer, if I were to go to 43, let's say, and click on it, on the right-hand side here, every single layer that's been selected will then give you information regarding my particular selection. So here is the gush 30152. It's telling you that this is the gush 30152. Not much is new there. If I come down here, though, to the chalka section, my chalka layer, it gives me additional information. It tells me that it's in the same gush. It tells me it's chalka 43. But you'll see here now it also tells me that the shetach rashum. It tells me what the registered area of this chalka is. And if this particular chalka is telling me that it's 9,780 square meters large, and this is shetach rashum. Shetach rashum is the registered area, which goes back to what we discussed in an earlier video, that what it's telling you is that if you go to the registrar considers this chalka to be this dimension, 9,780. That is the legally defined size of your chalka. You may have different opinion. Someone may move it over. A neighbor of yours may have built on your land, and that's possible. But rest assured, in the registrar, the dimensions and the borders defined here, and your total size is defined as being 9,780. And that's really what this idea of muzdar is. Muzdar means that it's been cleared, it's been settled, it's been defined by way of this, taking exact measurements and exact definitions of the borders. This parcel and plot have been clearly defined, as opposed to, unfortunately, other parts of the country which have not yet been parcelized yet, and therefore their status is more unclear. But that's for a different video. That's essentially it. There's one more, just the taste I'd like to give you, one more layer that I find very helpful, and I sometimes use often, and I'd like to show that to you here. And that would be, I go to Shchavot Midah Nosafot, and I go down to where it says Kadastar Mekarkein V'Tichnun, and I choose that, and I go down to where it says Taba, Migrashim Rami. And Rami is the Reshut Mekarkei Israel, it's the land administration of Israel, and that is an entire new world of a discussion that will have to be for one or several videos later. So without going into that, but this is essentially a layer of the various plans, building plans, that the land administration has on its website, and it's being provided here. So I click on that and I add it here to my overall scheme, and now it overlays for me the whatever relevant plan is now in effect in this area. It now overlays it onto my schema on my map so that I can see where this lies in relation to the plan. But in addition, now if I come back to my mouse here and I click on number 43 again, this time I now am given 3 layers. I have the original first 2 layers of gush and chalka, which stays the same, but now my additional layer tells me, if I click on that here, it will tell me that this chalka, remember, of 43, first of all, it tells you that what plan is going on this chalka. It's Tochnit number 4711, and it's telling you the number of the migrash, the number, if I were to look into that plan 4711, what number is assigned to this area, and it's telling you that this is referred to as the migrash number 6. And it also tells you the yi'ud, it tells you the zoning according to this plan. It's telling you that according to this plan, Tochnit 4711, the yi'ud of this area is Tayarut V'Nofesh. tourism and relaxation. Now, that doesn't give you a full picture. If you really want to get the full picture, you have to then go and look up this plan, and that'll be another video of which websites you go to look up tochniot, plans. But you can see how this website already could be tremendously powerful in providing you information quickly and expeditiously and efficiently with very little trouble on your part. So that'll be all for today, and hope you enjoyed.